Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video we will be making these really cute bead slippers for babies and kids. This tutorial is for absolute beginners, so the people who have never tried crocheting or just started, they can really make them by following my videos. The materials I'm using is a 3mm crochet hook, pair of scissors, darning needle, and some of the stitch markers. The yarn I'm using is the color camel brown, white, yellow. First we're gonna start by making the base of the slippers, which is this sole over here. Over here you can tie a bow. Over here this is the sole. This part is the sole. This is the back, this is the front. And we're first gonna start by making this part, and we'll go round and round like this. So first we're gonna grab onto our camel brown yarn over here, and we're gonna start by making a slip knot. To make a slip knot, I grab onto my yarn while using my 2 fingers and twist them, and I'm gonna insert my thumb into this loop and pull this tail and drop off the loop and pull everything. This will create your slip knot, and you're gonna slide your hook through it. You can see this loop is pretty big for your hook. You're gonna slowly gently pull this yarn tail over here to adjust the size of the loop. And how I'm holding my yarn is like I'm just placing on top of my ring finger and pinky. I'm going behind my index finger and holding this piece, this knot, while using my thumb and middle finger. So this is how I'm holding my materials. So first we're gonna start by chaining. So to chain, I yarn over on the working yarn, and I'm gonna pull through this loop on our hook like this. This is our first chain. We've created a V. It means that we've made a chain. Now let's do it again. Yarn over on the working yarn, pull through this loop on our hook. Second V, second chain. Yarn over on the working yarn, pull through this loop on our hook. This is our third chain. Now let's make it more. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. So the chaining is that much easy. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. Now we've made a total of 6 chains, and we need to chain more to have the total of 16 chains. We need to make 16 chains, but it depends on the size of the foot, that how much longer you need the sole to be. So you can chain as your own personal preference. So now I've chained 16, and I'm gonna start by making the double crochets into this chain. So to make a double crochet, first I'm gonna skip the 2 chains. You can see this is the V, one below the loop on a hook, and one below is the second, and then one below it is the third chain. We're gonna insert our hook into the third chain. So first we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into this chain, yarn over again, and pull through this stitch, brought up a loop. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops at a time. Now we've left with 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over again and pull through the both loops that are left on our hook, and we're gonna mark the first stitch. To mark, we're gonna grab our stitch marker and look at your stitch from the top. You can see a V over here, this V, and you're gonna slide your stitch marker through this V and mark it. So this is our first stitch. Congrats. So now let's move on to the second one. So let's start. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next chain. Not this one, it's all squashed up. It's the first chain. This is the second V. We're gonna insert our hook into it after yarning over, and then we're gonna yarn over again. Yarn over, pull through this loop, this stitch, pull through. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops at a time. And now we got 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over on the working yarn and pull through these 2 loops. This is our second stitch. Now let's do the third one. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next chain, yarn over again and pull through this loop, brought up a loop. Now we got 2 loops on our hook, 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through the first 2 loops at a time. Now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through the left 2 loops. This is a third chain, third stitch. Now let's move on to the fourth one. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops at a time. Now we got 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through all the 2 loops. So we've made 4, and I'm sure everybody have got a hang of it. But if you don't know how to make, you can also rewatch the first few parts where I demonstrated really slowly. So I'm gonna go ahead and make more double crochets, but make sure that you didn't double crochet into the last chain. Just chain till the second last chain, then after that I'm gonna tell you what to do next. So chain to the second last chain. Now I've made my second last stitch and I'm gonna mark this. You can see it from the top. You can see a V over here, the V which is below the loop on the hook. We're gonna mark this, and this is the second last stitch to keep ourselves in track, and slide our hook through the loop back tight. So now we've reached the last V, and now we're gonna make 6 double crochets into this V. So how it works, first we're gonna make a normal double crochet, yarn over, insert my hook into this next stitch, which is the last stitch of this round, and I'm gonna yarn over again and pull through this loop. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops at a time. Now we are left with 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, then pull through all the 2 loops that are left on our hook. So this is, we made a normal double crochet, but now we're gonna make a total of 5 more in this same stitch. So let's do it again. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same last stitch. You can see there's a hole over here. This is the same stitch. After inserting, we're gonna yarn over again and pull through this stitch. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the left 2, placing the double crochet. Now let's move on to the third one. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch again, yarn over, pull through. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through the first 2 loops at a time. Now we're left with 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through. So basically it will create a semicircle over here. We're gonna go like this. We've made 3. Now we're gonna make 3 more to have a total of 6. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch, which is a little gap over here. Insert it, yarn over, pull through. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through the first 2 loops. Now we got 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through the all 2. So this is the stitch that we made, and we need to make 2 more in the same stitch. So let's make 2 more. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 and pull through the last 2. Now let's make the last one. Just like in normal double crochet like this, and now we've made a semicircle, you can see. But if you don't know how many stitches you make, or if you forgot, you can always count it after the stitch marker, which is this orange stitch marker. You can see it from above. This is the stitch which is marked from the stitch marker, and then let's count after it. 1. I've placed 6 double crochet into 1 stitch, and now for this hole in the middle, you can see we're gonna close this, and to close this we're gonna pull this yarn thread which is over here. Pull it, it will close up this gap in the middle. So now we've made a semicircle. After these 6 double crochets into the last chain, we're gonna make 13 more double crochet to finish off this round. So to make double crochet, first we're gonna yarn over, and you can see this is the hole that we close up, and then this is the gap. This is the little hole over here. We're gonna yarn over and start our hook into this hole, and we're gonna also cording on to the yarn tail, and we're gonna yarn over, pull through this stitch, this loop. It was a loop. Now we got 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through the first two. Now we got 2 loops left on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through the all 2 loops, and we're gonna mark this stitch over here. So now let's move on to the second stitch. This is the first double crochet. We need to make 12 more. So you can see there's a gap over here. There's so many gaps over here. We're gonna insert our hook into this little hole. First we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into this hole. Make sure to cut onto the yarn tail, yarn over, pull through. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through first 2 loops. Now we got 2 loops left on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through all the 2 loops that are left on our hook. So now let's move on to the 11th, which is the third one. Yarn over, insert my hook into this stitch, this hole over here, also cutting onto the yarn tail, yarn over, pull through. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through the first 2, pull through the 2 loops again. Now we've made 3, and now we need to make 10 more to have a total of 13 double crochet. So you're gonna crochet till you have the total of 13 double crochet. Now I'm placing my 13th double crochet, yarn over, insert my hook into this last hole, yarn over, and make the last double crochet and mark it. So now we finished the round. You can count these V's. Make sure you have 13 only. So I have 13. Now you can see there's a loop over here. This is a loop and this is the second loop. You're gonna insert your hook into this loop, or maybe this loop. The loop, you need to insert your stitch into that loop, your hook into that loop, which is before the stitch which is marked, like maybe this one over here. And after inserting, you're gonna yarn over, pull through and make a slip stitch. This is the slip stitch, and we need to tighten this slip stitch. So now we've made the first round. Now let's move on to the second one. So we're gonna place a normal double crochet, move the stitch marker, yarn over, insert my hook into the stitch which is first marked from the double crochet, from the stitch marker, yarn over, pull through and pull through. This is our first stitch of the second round, and we're gonna make 12 more to have a total of 13. You're gonna go to this loop, this is stitch. You're gonna go through the whole V this time, like this, the whole V. We're gonna place double crochet on top of the double crochet. So now let's do it again. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next chain, not this one. This is the stitch where we place the first double crochet, this one. Yarn over, pull through and place the double crochet. This is our second stitch. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next V, and this will go on till you reach the stitch marker. Now I placed my stitch marker over here. I'm gonna remove it and place my last double crochet of this round and mark it again. So now we've made the point where we've created the semicircle. So this point where you created the semicircle is this, where we made 6 double crochets into the last stitch chain. Now we're gonna make 6 increases. So to make an increase, we yarn over. You can see a V over here. We're gonna insert our hook into it, and then we're gonna yarn over, pull through and place a normal double crochet, and we're gonna place second double crochet into the same stitch. So the yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now it goes to 3 loops on our hook and double crochet. So now we're gonna make these increases on the whole stitches until we reach the stitch marker. So now let's do it again. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next V, yarn over, pull through and double crochet, and we're gonna again yarn over, insert a hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We're gonna pull through first 2 and then pull through the last 2, and let's do it again. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and let's do it again. Insert a hook into the same stitch, and we're gonna continue making these double crochet increases into the stitches, which are these are left out 3 stitches until we reach the stitch marker. We're gonna first place a double crochet, and then we're gonna place second double crochet into the same stitch, which will create an increase. So let's continue making these double crochet increases until we reach the stitch marker. We've made 6 double crochet increases previously. Now we're gonna remove off the stitch marker, green one, and we're gonna place just a normal double crochet into the stitch which we marked. Just place a normal double crochet. This is our first stitch. We're gonna mark this, and we're gonna make 12 more to have a 13 double crochets, total of 13. So you're gonna insert a hook into the V. We're gonna continue making the double crochets until we reach the stitch marker. Make sure these double crochet are just normal double crochet. There's no increase now till this we reach the stitch marker, this one. So now we've reached the stitch marker. We're gonna place our 13 double crochet into it, remove it, and place a 13 double crochet over here. Mark it again. So this is our second round. We finished our second round. So now you can see these V's over here. Not this one, these 2 V's. We're gonna place increases on them. So yarn over, insert my hook into the next V, which is this one. It may be harder because we've played a slip stitch over here. We're gonna yarn over again and pull through and make double crochet, and we're gonna make same next double crochet into the same stitch which we made just now. This is our first thing. Now you can see it's a V. Before the stitch marker, we're gonna place our second double crochet increase into it. And we've made these increases. We're gonna make, now we're gonna just make normal double crochet, normal 13 double crochet into them. So remove the stitch marker, place a double crochet, and mark it again, and place 12 more double crochets until you reach the stitch marker. I've reached my stitch marker, and I'm gonna place the last 13 double crochet into it and mark it again. And now we're gonna make the last round. This was the last round that we started just now. So for this round, we're gonna start by making a double crochet. We're gonna make double crochet followed by an increase. So 1 double crochet, then an increase. So I'll show you how it works. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next V, place a normal double crochet. So this is the first double crochet, and in the next stitch there will be an increase. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch, normal double crochet, and we're gonna make second double crochet into the same stitch that we made just now. So this is the double crochet followed by an increased double crochet. We're gonna repeat this pattern until we reach the stitch marker. I am making these double crochet increases and double crochet into a increase stitch. So we're gonna remove our stitch marker, place the double crochet, mark it again, and we're gonna place 12 more double crochets until we reach the marker. I'm gonna remove it and place my last double crochet into it. And then now don't need to mark this one because we're gonna finish off now. You can see here 1 2 3 4 stitches left over here. Before this pink stitch marker, we're gonna make slip stitches into them. So insert our hook into it and yarn over, pull up a loop and pull through this. We're gonna pull through the first loop to pull through the second one. This is our first slip stitch, and make a second one, third one, fourth one, and we finished off making the sole of it, the lower sole of it, and we're gonna remove all the stitch markers, no need of them. And now we're gonna finish off over here. So to finish off, I'm gonna chain one, and I'm gonna pull up a really big loop, and I'm gonna cut this loop from here like this. So we've finished off by making this sole, and if you've made this, congratulations, because this is the base part, this is the most important part. If you can make this, you can make the whole slipper, no worries. Now we're gonna start working with our yellow yarn. So you can see this is the stitch that we made. We're gonna insert a hook through it, any random stitch you can pick, maybe this, and you're gonna place this yarn tail on back of it, and you're gonna yarn over on this chain. So yarn over, you're gonna pick it and pull to this stitch over here, but do not pull it completely, and pull this yarn tail over here, and you're gonna chain one in it. So the chain we yarn over, working and pull through the loop on a hook, and we're gonna place double single crochets into this stitch. So to make the single crochets, we're gonna yarn over the working yarn, so we're gonna insert a hook into the same stitch. This is stitch we've made. Now this chain, we're gonna insert our hook into the same stitch, yarn under, pull up a loop. Now we got two loops on our hook, we're gonna yarn over and then pull through all the two loops, and we're gonna mark this stitch. And let's move on to the second one. We're just gonna place single crochets on top of these V's. So let's move our second one. Insert my hook into this V, yarn under, pull up a loop. Now we got two loops on our hook, we're gonna yarn over and then pull through all the two loops. Insert my hook into the second stitch again, yarn under, pull up a loop, pull through all the two loops, and this is, we're gonna repeat this all around. We're gonna make these single crochets all around till we reach this stitch marker. Now I've just made my last single crochet, and I'm gonna remove off this stitch marker, and you can see there's a hole, and we're gonna make the last, very last single crochet into this hole where the stitch marker was located. So this is, we made a round, and now we're gonna chain one, and after chaining, we're gonna turn our work, we're gonna face the back side, and now you can see there's the hole, you can see, or you can also see there's are the V's on top of them. We're gonna go into this V, which is right below the V. This is the second V, you can see this is the chain that we made just now, and one below it is the last stitch. We're gonna insert a hook into it, yarn under, and we're gonna place a single crochet and mark it. So we're gonna continue making these single crochets, yarn, insert my hook into the V, yarn under, pull up a loop. Now we got two loops on a hook, we're gonna yarn over and then pull through all the two. So now let's move on to the third one. Insert my hook into the next V, yarn under, pull up a loop, and place a normal double crochet. We're gonna make these double crochets until we reach the stitch marker over here. Now I just finished my last single crochet. We're gonna remove the stitch marker. You can see a hole over here, and place your last single crochet. And this is, we finished making the single crochet rounds, and we're gonna just fasten out, chain one, pull up a big loop, cut this loop from over here, and this is, we've made the slipper's base. So yeah, So now we're gonna weave in the ends. You can see there are 3 ends over here. We're gonna pick any of them and we're gonna weave in. So the same color yellow, we're gonna weave in the yellow yarn tail into the yellow color. Do not weave in over here because it will look so weird, it will look so color change and it looks not so good. So make sure that color is the same where you're weaving. So you can pick any loop, any random loop from the back side. Just pick it, any loop and any other loop. Just go through any loop. The purpose to hide it and it's not really important that in which loop you go. Just need to hide it, and hide it into any loop you can pick, but it's only for the back side that you're picking any loop. Your darning needle shouldn't be visible from the front side. It's for the back side that you're picking up a loop and hiding the tail. So I'm gonna do this one more time. Make it more secure and the last time. And we can cut this excess yarn over here. And I'm gonna do the same for this one, this tail and this tail. I'm gonna weave brown yarn tail at the brown part and yellow yarn tail at the yellow part. Now we are finally done with the base part with the sole, and now we are just left with this upper part, this top part, and this is so easy, everyone can make it. And if you make this base, so congratulations and good job for it. Now let's start making this part, which is the support for your toes to place on top of it. So yeah, let's start making it. To make that, we're gonna grab onto a yellow yarn and I'm gonna leave a long yarn tail behind over here like this, and I'm gonna tell you why. So let's start by making a slip knot. To make a slip knot, we're gonna grab onto our working yarn by using our 2 fingers, and I'm gonna twist them, and I'm gonna insert my thumb into this loop, it's a loop, and grab onto this yarn tail and drop off the loop like this. It's the same, this is the working yarn and this is the yarn tail, but the difference is that the yarn tail is pretty long, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this time we're gonna also work onto the yarn tail. Normally when we're chaining, we just yarn over on the working yarn and pull through the loop on our hook, but this time first we're gonna yarn over on the yarn tail and then we will have 2 loops on our hook, then we're gonna yarn over and pull through all the 2 loops. So how it works, I'm gonna place it on top of my ring finger and pinky, and I'm going behind my index finger and hold on to my piece while using my thumb and middle finger. For this, we usually don't hold the yarn tail, but now this time we're also gonna hold on to our yarn tail while using our ring finger and pinky. So basically it creates a triangle over here. So start by chaining. We're gonna place this yarn tail on top of my hook. Basically it creates a V. We have 2 loops on our hook. Now we're gonna yarn over the working yarn and pull through. Remember, this line which is at the bottom is the yarn tail. This is the yarn tail, and top yarn is the working yarn which is attached to the yarn ball. So now let's do it again. Place my yarn tail on top of my hook, yarn over the working yarn, and then pull through all the 2 loops. Now let's do it again. Place my yarn tail on top of my hook, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. So you need to make this, you're gonna continue making this until you have your desired length, until you reach your desired length. I want this tail to be, this part to be this much long, so I'm gonna do it for this much long. So you can do it as your desired length. So now I'm done making this chain, and I'm gonna fasten up. So you're gonna place it as normally. You're gonna place both yarn tails on top of your ring finger and pinky, and go behind your index finger and hold on to your piece while using your thumb and middle one. So now you're gonna yarn over on these 2 tails together and pull through this loop on our hook, and you're gonna pull up a really big loop, really big 2 loops, and just cut them and pull this yarn tail and the working yarn and tighten it, so you have something that just look like this. It has the V's over here and over here and over here. It has V's on two sides, so this is the support for your toes. Over here we're gonna sew it over here. So yeah, congratulations that if you made it. Now let's start sewing this. Over here it will be placed like this. So now let's start sewing. Thread one of the yarn tail through the darning needle, one of them, any of them, and you're gonna go, because you're gonna place it in the middle of your piece, and you're gonna go through this single crochet part. Go through it like this, go through, and you're gonna insert your hook, this darning needle over here. You have pulled your darning needle and the yarn string along from this way, and you're gonna go onto this way. And for this part we'll be also cutting onto this with this part, this toe part, and go through this toe part also and do the sew on. This is called a running stitch. We're gonna do this running stitch to sew this part together. I'm gonna do this again, make it more secure like this. So now let's do it for the second one too. Make these things as much secure as you can so that it won't be fall off later. Do it again for this part as well. Like this, and come out from over here like this. So now I've sewn it like this, and for these end over here I'm just gonna tie a knot tightly and maybe double knot it to make it more secure. Tie it and cut these two yarns. So now we did this part. It looks like this. Now after making this part, we're gonna make this triangle part over here, this part, but this part is not really important because we're just gonna place the flower on top of it, and this triangle part is not visible, just it is made to give the support to this flower. We're gonna sew this flower on top of this triangle, so let's start making the triangle. I'm gonna grab onto my yellow yarn and make a slip knot over here. To make a slip knot, I grab onto working yarn tail with my two fingers and twist them. I create a loop and I'm gonna insert my thumb into it and hold on to this yarn tail and drop off the loop, and then pull everything like this. And we're gonna start first by chaining. So to chain, first we're gonna yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on a hook, then yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on a hook, yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on a hook. Remember that this chain you'll be making, it will be the width of your triangle. Your triangle will gonna go this, like this. So this is the line, the border line of your triangle. Let's do it again. I'm gonna chain until that I reach my desired length. Now I've chained total of 9 chain, and I'm gonna start by making half double crochets. So first we're gonna skip the first chain, the chain which is below the loop on a hook, and that one below the second. We're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into the second chain from our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we're gonna yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops that are on our hook, and mark the first stitch. Let's start making these half double crochets. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook. I'm gonna yarn over, then pull through all the 3 loops. Yarn over, insert my hook into the next V, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops. Now we're gonna make these half double crochets till the end, till the second last stitch. I'm on my second last stitch. I'm making my this one over here, and let's make the last one. It might be a little bit hard for you, the last stitch, to make it, but you're gonna make it also onto the last stitch like this. So now we've made the first round of double crochet, and we're gonna move on to the second round. To make a second round, we flip our work, and you can see there's a chain over here. We're gonna this first V, which is this first stitch, and this one below a V, we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into the next V. You can also see there's a little holes over here. The first hole we're gonna skip. Into the second hole, we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook into the second hole, yarn over, pull up a loop, and make the half double crochet. And now we're gonna make these half double crochets until you reach the stitch marker. I've reached my stitch marker. I'm gonna remove it and place my last half double crochet over here. Just over here, place my last half double crochet. So now after the last stitch, I'm gonna flip my work again. We're gonna skip 2 chains. Now first, at this round we skip 1 chain. Now we're gonna skip 2 chains, these 2 chains, yarn over, insert my hook into the third one, yarn over, pull through, and place a half double crochet and mark this stitch. Remember to mark this stitch, and let's make it again until we reach the stitch marker. Remove the stitch marker and place the last half double crochet into it. And after the last stitch, I'm gonna flip my work again and insert my hook into the third chain, yarn over, insert my hook into the third chain, yarn over, pull through, place the last half double crochet, and you can see there's a V over here. You're gonna place your one more last half double crochet into it, and now we've made a triangle. It basically looks like a triangle. So yeah, now we've made a triangle. I'm gonna fasten off chain on, pull up a really big loop and cut this. So your triangle might be looking like this, and if your triangle is not so perfect, so it's okay because it's not visible. This is only the support of this flower. So if your triangle is not the perfect looking like triangle, so it's okay, it's not a very big issue. Now I'm gonna sew this triangle to this support over here. So you can see this with the pointy part, this yarn tail over here. We're gonna thread this yarn tail through the darning needle, and we're gonna sew it from here. So to sew it, I am gonna place this triangle's pointed part on top of this tail like this, and I'm gonna go through this triangle and also going through this support part and go through. And this is the same that how we sew it over here. We're gonna sew it just like the same way. Do it again. And again. So this is the sewing part, and after sewing you have a yarn tail, excess yarn tail also left on the back of your triangle. You're just gonna weave in it on the back of the triangle like this, just weaving it. So you just need to weave it, this yarn tail, excess yarn tail, after sewing the triangle. Weave in the excess yarn end which was left, and now I'm gonna start making these loops over here. Yeah, like these loops. So let's start making them where this yarn where this chain is coming from. This is the loop. So now let's start making them. For that loops, I'm gonna start by making a slip knot. To make a slip knot, I point up my two fingers and grab onto this yarn tail by using my two fingers and twist them and make a normal slip knot like this. And now I'm gonna start chaining. So I'm gonna chain 4. Yarn over, pull through the loop on a hook, yarn over, pull through the loop and pull through the loop, hook and pull through the loop on a hook. So now we've chained 4, and now I'm gonna make single crochets. So single crochets, for single crochets I'm gonna skip the first chain, insert my hook in the second chain, yarn under, pull up a loop, and yeah, we got 2 loops on a hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through all the 2 loops that are left on the hook, and we're gonna mark the first stitch over here. And now let's move on to the second one. Insert my hook to the next V, yarn under, pull up a loop. Now we got 2 loops on the hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through all the 2 loops. The last one, insert my hook to the next V, yarn under, pull up a loop. Now we got 2 loops on the hook. We're gonna yarn over, then pull through all the 2 loops. So this is the 3 single crochet that we made. Now we're gonna chain 1, flip our work, insert our hook into the second V. This is the first V, this is the second V. Insert our hook into it. It is also the last stitch. Yarn under, pull up a loop. Now we got 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, then pull through all the 2 loops and mark the stitch. And we're gonna continue making these single crochets round. And I've reached my stitch marker again. Place my last one, and I'm gonna repeat this until I have a total of 10 rounds. So I'm gonna make this for the 10 rounds. Now I've made 10 rounds of these single crochets, and I'm gonna make the second applique of it. We're gonna make 2 applique of it. So now I've made 2 appliques of these loops, and for the end I just chain 1 and pull up a really big loop and cut that loop as we fasten up normally. So now for these loops, I'm gonna sew them into it over here. I'm gonna sew them over here. You can see. So I'm gonna do it like this. First I'm gonna sew them this way, and I'm gonna sew them over here. So to sew them, I'm gonna thread one of the tail through the darning needle. Like this, thread it through. After threading it through, I'm gonna face it side by side like this. Make sure it's side by side, and I'm gonna sew it this way. My yarn, we're gonna go this and then this way, and this. It's a running stitch, so let's do it. Insert my hook into the any loop can go, and it's the same for the next side also. Any loop. This part is not so visible, so your sewing doesn't really matter. And do the same for this part. Like this. Just sew them normally as you can. So now I've sewn it, and now I'm gonna do the same thing, the same sewing for this one too. And now after I sew the 2 sides together, I have a yarn to the left. I'm gonna weave in it, like picking up any loop over here and over here also, like this. Pick up any loop and cut it. So you have done with the first yarn tail, but leave the second one and do the same for the other part. Now I have 2 things that just look like something this, and I'm gonna sew them over here. I'm gonna sew them, you can see we're gonna stitch over here and the other part facing the back side of it over here. So I'm gonna sew it with this yarn tail over here and the same for the other. So I'm gonna show how it works. Thread the tail which is left to the darning needle and place it over here as you can measure it and sew it. To sew it, you're gonna go through any loop. That's how you did for this triangle. Gonna do the same, sew it while running stitch. Everything the slipper is just sewing like this, and do the same for this part. Over here, go inside any stitch, and for the sewing the same. Everything we need to sew for the slippers like this, sew them. And now you've sewed them. You have this yarn tail left and you're gonna weave in for this side. Now you have a yarn tail left, you're gonna weave in over here and do the same for the other. And the reason I did this, I made these loops because you can see you have a ribbon bow, chain over here that's coming through these loops, 2 of them, and they are also connected from these triangles. So now I'm gonna make these chains. So chaining is that normal, everyone know how to chain. So first start by making a slip knot and slip knot, and I'm gonna how to chain. I yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on a hook, yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on a hook, yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on a hook, and we're gonna make 50 chains. I've chained 50, but you can chain as you desire, how longer you want this chain to be. It's up to you. Now I've chained. After I chained, I fastened off as normal I did, and I'm gonna now sew this yarn tail from the triangle over here. I'm gonna sew it from this side. We will make 2 applique of it, one side from this and one side from this. So now I'm gonna show you how to sew. I'm gonna insert my hook into the darning needle into any loop, and just I normally sew it as I did while using the running stitch, like this. Sewing is normal, you can sew it anyway. This go out, and for this yarn tail left, you can weave in it here. Just weave it and like this. So I'm gonna do the same thing for the other tail. I'm gonna make the same chain and sew it from here. I've sewn the second chain, and you can just bring them out from through these loops over here. Insert your hook through these loops and hold on to these chains through like this. Do it the same for the other. Bring these both chains through these loops, and I'm gonna show you how to make these little hearts over here. The heart, I'm gonna start by making a magic ring. To make a magic ring, I point the yarn on top of my 2 fingers, and I'm gonna flip my hand, wrap this yarn tail around my 2 fingers twice, and you can see, stick it at the right. You can see there's a cross over here and 2 parallel lines on the front. You're gonna go through the first line and pick up the second line, pull through. You have something that look like this. Twist your hook and grab onto this working yarn which is at the bottom of your thumb. Yarn over, pull through, and you've made a magic ring. Pull this yarn tail to make the ring a little bit smaller. Now let's start making 2 treble crochet. First, to make a treble crochet, we yarn over twice, insert our hook into the magic ring, also caught onto the yarn tail, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we got 4 loops on our hook. We're gonna pull through first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through first 2 loops, and now we're gonna yarn over again, pull through the next 2 loops. And now we are left with 2 loops. We're gonna yarn over, pull through all the 2 loops. So now let's do it again. Yarn over twice, insert my hook into the magic ring, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we got 4 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through the first 2 loops. Now we got 3 loops left on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through the first 2 and pull through the left 2. So these are the treble crochets. Now let's make 2 double crochets, yarn over. Everyone know how to make the double crochet? This. And we're gonna make this treble crochet one more time again. Like this. And now I'm gonna repeat that what I did over here. I'm gonna place 2 double crochets, and then 2 treble crochets, and pull this yarn tail to close up the gap in the middle. And you're gonna slip stitch in this gap, so insert your hook into this gap and first tighten it, insert your hook into this gap, securing onto the yarn tail and slip stitch, yarn over, pull through like this, tighten it, and you've made the heart. Chain 1, fasten off. So this is how we make the heart and adjust it. So yeah, for these 2 tails over here, I'm gonna tie a knot in it, maybe double knot to make it more secure. Tie it and then just cut like this, or you can also weave it. So I've made this and now I'm gonna sew it from here. I did the first one, I'm gonna do the second one. I'm gonna thread this yarn, leftover yarn tail of this chain through the darning needle. So to sew, I'm gonna go through this middle gap over here, go it through and like this over here, and I'm gonna go through this one, this yarn tail over here, just loop pick up any loop like this, and it had sewn it. And for this yarn tail you can weave in over here like this. Even it just okay. So now we've made the 2 hearts over here. Now let's sew this flower over here, and if you don't know how to make this flower, you can go and watch the tutorial of it. I've made a very detailed tutorial of it, and I also shared its link in the description box so you can easily see it. So thread any of the yarn tail through the darning needle, and you can see this part. You're gonna go through this part of the flower and also the triangle one like this, and come up again, sew this with the running stitch like this, and also for here. And do the same for this too. Now we are finally done with our slippers. I've sewn the flower and they look so cute and so gorgeous, perfect for babies. And for these tails you can tie a bow in it if you want to, or a knot, or normal knot. This. So like this, and we've made them. So if you made them, so much congratulations and great job if you did that. And this is the end of our video, but if you want to watch more of my videos, you go to my channel and subscribe it. And if you like my videos, great thumbs up for them. So bye, wait till the tomorrow for the next tutorial.